Well, since the last video, everything has go ahead and set with the red Permatex. And what the next step that I'm going to be doing here is I got out some wire brads, 3/4 by 18, and then I got the micrometer. And I had to go through about 6, but when I went through about 6, I came up with 4 that were very, very close, and it comes out to around 46 thousandths. So I have 4 that are about a half a thousandths either side of 46 thousandths. Well, I went over to the number drill, and the number drill that's equivalent to that is a number 56, which is right at 46 thousandths. So I have a 46 thousandths drill bit here, or a number 56 drill bit, and I'm going to take the drill bit, and what I will do is just write down through that. I'm going to go over to the milling machine, and the setup on this is going to be very, very simple. I'm just going to put it in the vise, and I won't bother about centering. I'm just going to center by eye. What I will do is just use some Dykem, and I'll go ahead and get that done right now. I'm just going to put a little Dykem on it, and come back and center that with the calipers. And since there's really not any precision that's involved in this thing other than just a pleasing appearance, I'm just going to do it all by eye. So once I get that completed, I'm going to drill down, as I said before in the previous video, about halfway into the crank and about halfway into the crank pin, or the crankshaft, and about halfway into the crank pin. And I'm going to then just Permatex these 2 into there. And that will make this as strong as it would need to be. In fact, you can use a crankshaft that's done like this, or that's fabricated like this, for actually an internal combustion engine. I've actually done that before, and they work very, very well. So off to the milling machine I go. I'm just going to drill 2 holes, and then I'll come back and we'll put this thing together. Okay, I've just got back from the drill press, and I drilled the holes in there. Now, I did use a center drill to start those, and now I've got through this little alcohol right in here, and I've cleaned up all the pins. So now it's just a matter of putting a drop of Loctite around each hole. And what I'm going to do is, somewhere around here a while ago I saw an ink pen somewhere, but that somewhere is gone by now. Well, let me just do this. Let me beat it down a little bit. What I was going to do is just take that, not ink pen, but straight pen, sewing pen is what I meant to say. I had it here just a moment ago, but I guess it got dropped. I'm just going to hit that a few times to put that Loctite down there. I've got the 4 brads. Let's go ahead and put those in. One, that one had not been cut off yet to size. 2, for some reason that didn't want to go in there. Oh, that's not been cut off yet either. There, 3 and 4. For some reason that is a little bit too thick. Back off again. There it goes. Just had to get it, wiggle those around just slightly. Now that's a pretty tight fit. Okay, I'm at the milling machine right now, and here's the status of the crankshaft. I've just taken the pins that I had, and I just took them over to the belt sander, and I just lightly touched them against the belt sander to get them out of the way. Now, I'm going to do some more final finishing to the crankshaft, but right now, I'm going to go ahead and mill this part of the crankshaft out and go ahead and take the sides off the journal. The way you do that is, let me go ahead and roll my mill up here so I don't jab myself. The way I do that is I've got 2 parallels along this side of the vise, and that's what the crankshaft is going to hang on. Remember, I want it to be parallel with the crankshaft webs, so I'm just going to put that in, and then I'm going to bring that in. Actually, I'm going to have to have something a little smaller than that. Let me go back and get something smaller than these parallels. What I have here are just some parallels that I have They're inexpensive import parallels, but they'll do fine for what I'm working on right here. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything is clean on the vise. Go ahead and put that in like that, and that'll give me some meat to grab on right there. Then when I bring the vise in, I can go ahead and tighten that on up. Let me go ahead and knock that down, make sure it's in there good. Get that vise down pretty tight. And then I can go ahead and pull these out. And now I've got everything that I need to go ahead and machine out that web. And I want to go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead and get everything lined up. And then go ahead and I'll just go back and forth in between there and go ahead and get everything lined out. Okay, what I've done, I've locked the table down, and I can move the y-axis back and forth. And now what I'm going to do is just mill out the inside of that. Everything is tightened down, so here it goes. Now, I am taking very light cuts, probably no more than about 4 or 5 thousandths. One reason I'm taking those light cuts, I don't want to build up a lot of heat because that Permatex, once it gets about 500 degrees, it will break loose. Now all I want to do is just kiss the side of that web on each side. Okay, now I've got the crankshaft. Now undo it and put it back. So that's the part of the crankshaft. Everything will still be in line as I have it. So I've got that part of the crankshaft done. Now I need to go down and just chop the or mill these two ends off here of the journal itself. Okay, for the other side, I'm going to use a adjustable parallel and bring it up to where I can feel pretty comfortable milling that. Okay, I've got the crankshaft in there level. Now I'm just going to go off and touch off each end of that. All right, we're going to take this over to the workbench and take a little closer look at it. So here are the two crankshafts complete. This is the first one that was turned from the forging that came in the kit, and here's the second crankshaft. If you look closely, you'll be able to see the pins. I don't know if you can see that or not in the video, but there's the 4 pins coming in from one side. I did cut out the middle of the crankshaft. The journal is still in there. Now there's one final step that I'll do. I will take this over to the belt sander, and I'll just go ahead and round these edges off a little bit. If you notice though, these edges were not that round anyway, and the plans don't call for necessarily rounded edges. In fact, if it were actual scale model of a steam engine, you typically would not find rounded edges, but you would find rounded over corners. So in review, it was just a simple matter of 4 pieces. You had a crankshaft that was 5/16 that we started with. And so that was a solid piece of drill rod. Then it was a 5/16 crankshaft journal that you put in there. Then there were two webs, 1/4 by 1/2, and the holes were drilled on 3/8 centers that came across. Then it was just Permatex in there, put together with two pins. I put it on the lathe and I checked it for trueness. It runs perfectly true. So actually, this is a pretty good way to make crankshafts. In fact, most of the time, as I said before, this is the typical way I make them. And perhaps one day I'll put a video on how to make a crankshaft from just a solid piece of flat steel. If you looked at the earlier videos of about a year or so ago, perhaps even 2 years, there's a video out on the little Upshire engine that I built. I've actually built 2 of those. Those are crankshafts that are actually milled out of a solid flat bar that's about a 1/2 inch wide and a 1/2 inch thick and an inch wide. And perhaps I'll do one of those someday. Anyway, that concludes this part of the Stewart 10V, and that is fabricating the crankshaft. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and consider subscribing so that you don't miss any of these videos in this series.